He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Our financial expert, Bob Chapman, leaving us here in about 5 minutes, talking about the orchestrated global financial meltdown that's happening. Coming up, a newspaper out of Dublin, Ireland, and also We Are Change, just anti-globalist demonstrators, people that don't know who they are, that just joined us, actually got into a Trilateral Commission event, and this has actually made the news over there, but Trilateral Commission wants war with Iran. That's prisonplanet.com. It's also an AFP, and so we'll be talking to one of those gentlemen who talked to one of the Trilateral Commission members here in a moment. But going back to the caller in Florida to get Bob Chapman's take on it, for stations that just joined us, Chris was saying, where do I get documentation that we're in a financial meltdown or that we're in danger of a total depression? I mean, here it is. President Nicolas Sarkozy threatens to pull France out of euro. Do you know what this means? That it's now in the Wall Street Journal that the euro has a good chance of totally collapsing? I mean, there's trillions of dollars, trillions and trillions, tens of trillions, hundreds of trillions. Some, like economist Tarpley, says it's 1.5 quadrillion. I mean, this is hundreds of times all the real money and real assets in the world. I mean, it's a weapons system. They're announcing world government. It's a financial takeover. U.S. faces same problems as Greece, says Bank of England. May totally collapse. London Guardian, London Telegraph. I mean, it's all right here. Bob, I mean, I guess if you're talking to the average American who doesn't even know what fractional reserve banking is, what's the quickest, easiest way to explain to them what's happening?
Have them read the forecaster. As I said, before the break. It's all there, everything that they need to know. Absolutely, the internationalforecaster.com. But, I mean, we've been giving this out. I mean, we've been reading the news. I mean, this is world governments being openly announced. And then the Southern Poverty Law Center writes articles saying I'm crazy and Ron Paul's crazy and we're dangerous and none of it exists. And then you'll turn on CNN, they're announcing world government's good, the banks are taking over. I mean, it's insanity. Chris, does that answer your question?
Well, yeah, it kind of does, but I'm also kind of looking for just like I'm trying to show my mom how important gold and silver is because I really don't know how to describe it, and I'm trying to find the likelihood of how likely inflation is or hyperinflation.
Okay, let me answer that and get Bob's take quickly. This is elementary. Under 1980 inflation numbers, this is mainstream. $2,300, $2,500 an ounce is what it should be. And that's with cooked inflation numbers. They cook the unemployment, it's really 22. They say it's 10. They cook the unemployment. They cook inflation. It's simple. Gold and silver have intrinsic value, always have for 6,000 years. And that's why you see it going up. Bob Chapman.
And that's correct. And the only people who can create inflation is a central bank like the Federal Reserve. And I cover that in the International Forecaster every single day when I go over what happened in the market that day. And if you have any further questions, just get a copy of the Forecaster. My email's addressed on there. Email me, and I'll talk to them if need be.
Absolutely, and they can also call Midas Resources and get a free complimentary hard copy or digital copy, 40-plus pages on average, by calling 800-686-2237, 800-686-2237. And I guess it's good to throw out a 1-minute gold plug today. In fact, let me just pull up what gold numbers are right.
Well, while you're doing that, Midas still has that special on. If they pick up a rooster or a French franc or a Swiss franc for about $260, they just tell them, Alex sent you, call that number, and you get a free 1-year subscription to the Forecaster.
It's even better than that. And again, this is marked into the market when gold was about 1,150. It's up almost $100 from that. European francs, fifth of an ounce, are $256.68, and you get a free subscription, either digital or hard copy, for a whole year when you buy one coin. I mean, that's just such a good deal. They've got British sovereign gold coins, $3.32.12. They've got Lakota Nation rounds. They've got Walking Liberty $half silvers at $9.75. You cannot get that anywhere. I mean, that is just an insane deal. Rolls for $1.95. It just goes on, and this offer is about to end. It's going to end over the weekend if gold holds where it's at, and clearly it is. So 800-686-2237. Brokers will be there this weekend. 800-686-2237. Do not procrastinate, folks. I mean, it's so elementary when you've studied it. Gold and silver is what governments, corporations, Europe, all-time records in Europe, all-time records in the United States. 800-686-2237. And you're paying a price because Ted bought a bunch of this when it was lower. He's passing that savings on. 800-686-2237. Ladies and gentlemen, take advantage of that today. Don't wait. Bob, in closing, where do you see gold going in the next 6 months to a year?
Straight up. I'm looking for, we've had the breakout. We might hesitate at 1,300. It's just a technical thing. 1,500 to 1,650 is where we should be shortly, and if not shortly, by the end of the year. So that alone is worth buying for. And if we get the opportunity to go to 15 or 16 in the next month or so, then we may see 2,500 to 3,000 by the end of the year. Gold is going to $700 to $7,500 an ounce before the end of next year. I mean, the world is upside down. Never mind the inflation that's going on. Don't wait.
Well, I'll say this. I personally bought gold. It was $300 an ounce, and I've done quite well. I don't buy it as an investment, but as an emergency backup. But a lot of people do get it as an investment. And it's come out in C-SPAN hearings that they are manipulating the gold price. But you don't think they can be successful to... But I mean, again, I'm at Kitco looking at the 5-year graph. It's going straight up. They can do little manipulations, but every time it goes back up higher. So if you see the trend, I mean, it's straight up. Well, Bob Chapman, I appreciate you joining us today. We'll talk to you again for a full hour or even more coming up next Friday. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, and thank you all for listening.
You bet. Good to have Bob Chapman with us. All right, now I want to shift gears yet again. The story is up on Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com by Paul Joseph Watson. Excuse me. Trilateral Commission wants war with Iran. And first I want to play a video of the Trilateral Commission meeting a little over a week ago before the European implosion in Dublin, Ireland, and We Are Change, as David Rockefeller was going into the hotel for the secretive meeting. And this is what We Are Change Ireland in Dublin had to say to the kingpin of the banking New World Order system.
Rockefeller, we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing to the world. Rockefeller, your New World Order will never come in. You're running out of time. Scumbag, you've rushed it. You screwed up. You're not going to stop the Irish, Rockefeller, you scumbag. We are the Irish. We know what you're up to. We know what you're up to, Rockefeller. It's all going to come tumbling down.
All right. And then they go on to challenge the police and explain how they're selling their people out. In fact, if you still have it queued up at that point, let's play the rest of it. I shouldn't have cut it off.
I can't believe it. Hope you're happy working for that dirtbag. Do you know what that guy who you're protecting does? Hope the feel lad working for a mass murderer. That guy started the eugenics movement, funded the Nazis, monopolizes every business. What sort of world are you making for your kids?
What kind of world are you making for your kids? That's enough. And it goes on from there. A lot of background noise. But that was We Are Change.